Good afternoon, dear listeners, and welcome to another interactive episode of Language Explorers on your college radio station. Today, we have Maria, our Spanish teacher, to make our journey through Spanish question words even more engaging. Please welcome Maria.
Hola a todos.
We're thrilled to have you here, Maria. Let's dive right into our exploration of Spanish question words. Maria, could you explain to our listeners what Spanish question words are and why they are so important?
Por supuesto, Spanish question words or interrogative pronouns are the key to frame questions in Spanish. They unlock the door to effective communication and a deeper understanding of the language. One unique feature is the inverted question mark, which signals the start of a question in Spanish. For example, just like in English, we use it to ask, ¿Dónde está el museo? This is a question with the accent mark, which means where is the museum? On the other hand, ¿Dónde está el museo? This is statement without the accent mark. Simply states where the museum is.
Fascinating. Now, let's explore some of the differences between asking questions in English and Spanish. For instance, how do Spanish speakers handle auxiliary verbs like does and do?
Great question. In English, we often use does and do as helpers in questions. But in Spanish, we don't have direct translations for these words. Let's take the sentence, do you like to dance? In Spanish, it's ¿Te gusta bailar? We let the verb form do the work.
Excellent explanation, Maria. Now, let's delve into the core Spanish question words. How about we start with que and cual? The what words?
Buena idea. Que and cual both mean what, but their usage varies. We use que when asking about a specific thing or action, like what did you eat for breakfast? ¿Qué desayunaste? On the other hand, cual is great for getting a specific response. In Spanish, the choice between using que and cual when asking questions like what is your favorite color depends on the context and the nature of the question. For example, ¿Qué es tu color favorito? This question uses que and is grammatically correct. However, it's not the most common way to ask about someone's favorite color in Spanish. When you use que in this context, you are essentially asking for a definition or description of the color, as if you are asking, what is the definition of your favorite color? This can be a bit more abstract and less natural when discussing personal preferences. ¿Cuál es tu color favorito? This is the more commonly used and natural way to ask about someone's favorite color in Spanish. ¿Cuál is used to ask for a specific choice or selection among a set of options. In this case, you are asking the person to specify their favorite color from a range of possible colors. It's like asking, which one is your favorite color? So while both forms are grammatically correct, ¿Cuál es tu color favorito is the preferred and more idiomatic way to inquire about someone's favorite color, because it directly seeks a specific choice among a set of possibilities. ¿Qué es tu color favorito might be used in certain contexts, but it's less common and might sound somewhat formal or abstract.
Excellent explanation, Maria. Let's keep it interactive. How about we engage our listeners with some practice questions?
Por supuesto. Let's give it a try.
Listeners, here's a question for you. What's your favorite season, summer or winter? Take a moment to respond, and remember to use
¿Cuál? ¿Cuál es tu estación favorita, verano o invierno?
That's right. Now let's switch it up. Try this one.
What time does the movie start? Use
¿A qué hora?
for this question.
¿A qué hora empieza la película?
Great practice, everyone. Now, let's delve into other essential Spanish question words. How about we cover
¿Quién? ¿And? ¿Quiénes?
the who words?
Buena idea. Quien and Quienes both mean who. But their usage depends on whether you are referring to a singular or plural subject. For instance, ¿Quién es tu mejor amigo? Who is your best friend? Uses quien for a singular subject. While ¿Quién amigos? Who are your best friends? Uses quienes for a plural subject.
Great. Let's keep the momentum going. How about we explore cuando? The when question word.
Por supuesto, cuando is the go-to word when you want to ask when in Spanish. For example, ¿cuándo vas a la fiesta? When are you going to the party? Is a common way to use it.
Fantastic. Now, let's tackle como. The how question word.
Claro, como is versatile and means how. For instance, ¿Cómo llegaste aquí? How did you get here? Is a typical question using como.
That's interesting, Maria. I've noticed something unique in Spanish-speaking cultures. When someone asks a question in English, Spanish speakers sometimes respond with como, which means how, instead of que, which means what. Can you shed some light on this surprising response?
You have touched upon a fascinating cultural and linguistic quirk. In some Spanish-speaking cultures, particularly in moments of surprise or when someone didn't hear a question clearly, they might instinctively respond with como instead of que. It's a reflexive response and it adds an element of politeness by indicating that they want to understand the question better. So, if someone asks, "What did you say?" in English, a Spanish speaker might reply with como to express curiosity and seek clarification.
That's a wonderful cultural insight, Maria. Language is not only about words, but also about the subtleties of communication. Now, let's explore ¿dónde? The where question word.
Muy bien. ¿Dónde is crucial for asking where? For example, ¿Dónde está el museo? Where is the museum? Is a common way to use it.
Perfect. Let's not forget por qué and para qué. The why words.
Claro que sí. Porque is often used for why, focusing on the cause. For example, ¿Por qué llegaste tarde? Why did you arrive late? Inquires about the reason. On the other hand, para qué dwells into the purpose and can also mean why. For instance, ¿para qué necesitas el dinero? Why you need the money explores the purpose behind needing the money.
Let's make this interactive again. Listeners, here's a question for you. How do you like to spend your weekends? Take a moment to respond, and remember to use como.
¿Cómo te gusta pasar tus fines de semana?
Excellent. Now let's switch it up. Try this one.
What's your favorite way to relax? Use como for this question.
¿Cómo te gusta relajarte?
Fantastic practice, everyone. As we conclude our interactive program on Spanish question words, we want to thank our wonderful guest, Maria, for guiding us through this linguistic adventure.
De nada. It's been a pleasure helping our listeners explore the world of Spanish question words.
Remember, dear listeners, practice and immersion are your allies on this journey. Keep studying, keep asking questions, and soon, you'll be speaking Spanish with confidence. Thank you for joining us today on Language Explorers. I'm Christina, and
Hasta luego, amigos.
Hasta luego.